Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this info session on the City of Laredo and the Lift Fund Small Business Grant and Loan Interest Buy-Down Program. We'll give everyone a few minutes to join the call and then we'll get started. Thank you for being with us today. We'll give everyone just another minute to join and then we'll get started.
Good morning. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Good morning, Miriam. Thank you for
Good
being
morning.
with us.
Yes, of course. Sorry, I'm not sure what's wrong with what happened with the computer.
Not to worry. Okay, well, we will get started, and today we are going to go over some of the information about the wonderful program that we have with the City of Laredo for 0% interest loans and also a small business grant. This session is being offered in English and Spanish. And so if you would like to listen in Spanish, all you'll need to do is click the little globe button at the bottom of your screen and select the Spanish option. We would also recommend to pick mute original audio. That way you're not hearing both languages at once. And Gina?
Buenos días. Para los que gustarían escuchar esta sesión en español, si pueden presionar el mono que dice global, pues un icono que dice que es global, dice interpretación. Por favor, lo escogen y luego quitan lo que dice inglés. Y si gustan, le ponen ahí que, ¿cómo se llama? Que no, le presionan para que no puedan oír los dos audios, el mute.
Perfect. Thank you, Gina. So I am Lilian Spenley. I'm the Director of Compliance and Grant Administration at Lift Fund, and we are working with the City of Laredo to bring this wonderful program to small businesses in the city. We know that many businesses are still struggling, even since the effects of the pandemic and continuing inflation. We're honored to be partnering with the city to provide this much needed support. I am delighted to have with us Miriam Castillo, the Economic Development Director for the City of Laredo. And Miriam, welcome.
Thank you, Lilian, and thank you, Gina. And welcome everyone to this info session. We're very excited to once again launch this program for the third time. And just, I do want to acknowledge and recognize the amazing partnership that the City of Laredo has established with Lift Fund. And I also want to thank all the small businesses that are connected to this. The City of Laredo is very committed to continue, and we recognize and want to address some of the challenges that some of our small businesses continue to face because of the pandemic. And we are excited to know and to learn that there are businesses out there taking advantage of this program. We're hoping that we can have an impact and be a little bit of a part of their continued success. As I mentioned, this program is the third time that the City of Laredo launches in collaboration with the Lift Fund. I also want to acknowledge the leadership of our council members, of our city manager's office for allowing, allocating this funding to offer the grants for small businesses. And just to give, a few numbers, just the second program that we had, it's very rewarding to hear that more than 180 businesses benefited from this. So again, thank you, Live Fund. Thank you to all the business owners that are connected. And the city of Laredo continues to be readily available to assist in any way we can. Thank you again for hosting this session and for collaborating with the city of Laredo.
Thank you, Miriam. I also want to introduce Gina Palma. Gina is the Senior Business Development Officer at Lift Fund. Many of you have worked with her already in your lives as business owners. And so Gina is here today, and she's available at any point throughout the process to assist you either on the grant or the loan side, but she'll share some of the details about the 0% interest loan program that is going on.
Good morning, all again. Yes, right now we have this amazing program that we're teaming up with the city of Laredo. Thank you to the city for this great opportunity this third time around. And we're offering loans up to $50,000 with a 0 rate. These are for businesses that were impacted negatively by the pandemic, or businesses that are starting up and unfortunately were not able to start their business due to the pandemic as well. We have funds available for working capital, payroll, inventory, equipment, for all your business needs. If you're purchasing equipment, if you have equipment that you can already purchase collateral and you just need working capital, it's also something we are working with. The payments are very accessible. Depending on the loan amount is the term of the note. And we do base ourselves, we base ourselves with 3 C's, which is credit, capacity, and collateral. That's the base of the loan. And from there, we make our decision to what's the amount that you are eligible for. But we are being very flexible, very lenient. We work with credit scores from a 500 and above. So please, 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 if your business was struggling through the pandemic, is struggling right now, or if you just you had an initiative and you were unable to start your business because of the pandemic, please give me a call. Right now, I'm pretty sure my number is gonna show up, but just in case you want to write it down, it's 956-962-5121. And we're here in Laredo. We welcome walk-ins, and our office is at 902 East Calton Road, okay? We're here from 8:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday. I hope to see you all in here.
Thank you so much, Gina. And I see there's a few participants with their hands up. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A typing section. And then at the end, after we go through all the information, we'll also open up the floor to ask any questions. As Gina mentioned, we have this loan program going on, and you can find out more information and find the link to apply at liftfund.com/Laredo /Laredo-0-loan. And we're going to talk about both programs today, but I want to mention that you can apply for both programs. You don't have to pick one or the other. So please, consider both programs. The grant that we'll discuss in a moment is for $5,000, which is wonderful. But if you have big dreams and visions for your business, then you need a little bit more funding. The loan program may be a great way to get to that full amount that you need. So the one more thing on the loan program, that application is open, and it will be open until the funds run out. And so definitely the sooner that you apply for that one, the better. We'll move over now to the grant. So the grant, the city has allocated $450,000 to support small businesses, again, who have been negatively impacted by the pandemic. The grants are, even $5,000. The application period opened on Monday, March 18th, and it will close on April 5th at 5 o'clock. So this program has a very fixed application period, unlike the loan that is open until the funds run out. for the grant, please, please don't wait. Submit your application now. It must be in by April 5th at 5 o'clock in order to be considered. And please make note of the 5 o'clock. We always have someone who tries to go in at 11:59 thinking the deadline is midnight, and unfortunately the portal will be closed. So don't wait till the end of the day. Make sure you have it in by 5 o'clock. Once that April 5th deadline passes, we'll take then about a month or 2 months to review all of the applications that we received. Beginning mid-April and going through early June. Then starting in mid to late April, on April 17th, we'll begin to send out the notifications of those who are selected. But that notification process, it will go on through mid-June. So if you don't hear from us on April 17th, don't worry. The applications are reviewed through a scoring process, with the highest scoring applications being considered first and going down to the lower scoring applications. We'll go over that scoring process and how your score is calculated in a little bit. And then lastly, the most important part, when do I get my money? So the funding will begin in late April and continue through late June for the grants. Similar to the loan, the grant funds have to be used for almost anything business related. So payroll, working capital, business rent, inventory, supplies, equipment, other general operating costs. You can only receive one grant. So if you have multiple businesses, you'll need to select one business to submit the application for. Or if you have one business with multiple locations, you'll need to select one of those locations to receive the grant for. All of this information can be found on our website, which is cityoflaredosmallbusinessgrants.com, and we'll visit the website at the end of the presentation so you can see where to find each of these pieces of information that we're covering now. So as far as the eligibility, it's pretty simple, just 6 requirements. So one, of course, you must be located within the city. And on the website, we'll have a map where you can enter your address and just confirm if you are within the city limits. Sometimes we have applicants who might be right on the border or just outside. So we want to make sure that you're geographically eligible. Next, your annual gross sales have to be between $10,000 and $2 million. And we are looking at the years 2019, 2020, and 2021 for that factor. Next, you have to have had negative economic impact. And for the grant, we are defining negative impact as a decrease in your gross sales in either 2020 or 2021 compared to 2019. So that means either 2020 is less than 2019 or 2021 is less than 2019. You have to have been operating before January 1, 2020. And for that, we're going to look at the formation dates on your assumed name certificate, your DBA, or your formation documents with the state. You have to currently be operating and in good standing. So we're going to ask for your most recent bank statement just to verify that there's some business activity there. And then lastly, you can't be in one of the prohibited industries. So nonprofits, you must be a for-profit business, gambling, sexually oriented businesses, payday lenders, real estate flipping, house flipping, investment, that type of thing. For a very specific list of those ineligible industries, we'll have that on the website, but you can see the list here. We're going to go based on the business activity code or NAICS code that's found on your tax return. And you'll see here, this is a very short list. So as long as your business does not fall into one of these codes and you're not a nonprofit, you would meet the industry requirements. As far as the required document list, again, it's a very short and simple list, just 6 items. So we'll need your current driver's license or government issued photo ID. We can accept the passport, the matricula, anything That's an official ID. We do need to make sure that it is current, that it hasn't expired. So please pull out your ID and check it to make sure that that expiration date hasn't passed and that it's not, coming up in the next few weeks. We'll ask for your proof of your registration with the county or the state. So again, that's your assumed name certificate or DBA form, or your certificate of formation or incorporation with the Secretary of State. We'll ask for a utility bill, a business bill, to verify that you are located within the city. If you're a home-based business, not a problem. We can take a home utility bill. For the financials, we're going to ask for the 3 years of tax returns. That's 2019, 2020, and 2021. We do need to see the filed business tax returns. So if your accountant, started preparing them, but they haven't quite finished them, we will need to see those filed returns. Again, your most recent bank statement to verify that you are operating. And then lastly, there's a grant resolution form. Sole proprietors don't need to fill this out. So it's only for LLCs, corporations, and partnerships. But that's a form that Lift Fund will give you as part of the application process. So it's not something that you need to come up with or that you'll have in your records. It'll be in the application form and you can fill it out there. So as I mentioned, there is that scoring system which determines the ranking of applications. So again, it's not first come, first serve for the grant program, unlike the loan program that is first come, first serve. So the first thing is that we're going to look at the 5 zip codes within the city, and we want to try and spread the grants equally across the zip codes. So the highest scoring within each zip code will be considered first. There are 4 categories that make up your score, which can equal a total of 80 points is the maximum that you can get. So if you've received PPP or EIDL funds during the height of the pandemic, your score will be lower. So the grant is prioritizing businesses that didn't get previous assistance. If you received one of the 2 past grants that the city partnered with Laredo to offer, that Miriam was mentioning earlier, your score will be a little bit lower. So again, those who have not gotten any help before will have a higher score. And then next, the industry. So the specific industries that were most affected by the pandemic, if your business falls into one of those, which are like the service, the restaurants, that type of thing, you'll receive more points in this category. And we'll give you a very specific breakdown of those industries on the website. And then lastly, the employee count. And again, we'll show you that breakdown on the website. So we'll look at all the applications. All the applications will have a score, and then we'll start reviewing after the application closes on April 5th with the highest scoring applications. The application can be found again at City of Laredo smallbusinessgrants.com. It takes about 30 minutes to an hour to complete. You can save your work and leave your desk and come back to it later on, and your work will all be saved in there. So you don't have to do it all at once. And then you will need to have all of the required attachments and the documents to upload into the application in order to be able to submit. The application will not let you submit an incomplete application. We have a special dedicated phone number and email just with our grant team they are just to help with the grant program. So you can reach out to us at any point in the process. The phone number is 800-923-9551. And our grant team is bilingual, so not to worry for English or Spanish. You can also email us at sbgrants@liftfund.com. And we've already received so many questions and calls from you all and from small businesses throughout the application period. So we're delighted to help you in any way that we can to complete the process. You can also go into the Laredo office, as Gina mentioned, for assistance as well. But again, don't wait until the last day because they may have a lot of people there, and we want to make sure we have time to help everyone. Some other resources that Live Fund offers outside of the grant and the loan. So certainly we have our regular loans and the 0% interest loan, and you can find more info about that at livefund.com/loan-offerings. We have our wonderful business coaching department. So they offer free classes, one-on-one consultation, advising sessions, and other kinds of workshops and templates and tools for all the things that you need to run your business efficiently. So you can find out all of the upcoming classes at liftfund.com/events. So now we'll go ahead and take a look at the website. So this is the grant website. I'll also just point out the loan website information is here at liftfund.com/Laredo-0-loan, and you'll see the apply button right here, as well as all the information that Gina covered today. I see we have a couple questions, so I'm just going to pause and answer those. Yes, so the funds are only for businesses located physically in City of Laredo. And then our other question, yes, so if your business started after January 1, 2020, you would be able to be considered for the loan program, but for the grant, you must have been operating before January 1, 2020. Great question. Okay, so we'll go back to the grant website. So right here at the top in this green box, you'll see the button to apply for the grant. And again, that deadline is next Friday, April 5th at 5 o'clock Central Time. I won't go word for word through all of this, but just to show where the information is found, those eligibility requirements are right here. And here's the map that I mentioned where you can check your address to be sure that you are located within the city. Here's that list of those ineligible industries that you can look up here. Then we have the list of those required documents, the scoring system with more detail than we had on the slides. So this will show you the breakdown of if you have received PPP or EIDL funds, then those, depending on the amount, you'll score higher or lower within that category. If you received the prior grant funds, again, higher or lower. This gives the breakdown of those business activity or NAICS codes. So if you're in one of these, if your business activity or NAICS code begins with one of these numbers, you'll receive the most points. And then there's sort of a middle category followed by any other code will have a lower score in this group. And then for the employee count, then you'll have the breakdown here. A review again of the grant timeline. So the 4 phases are the application period, the review period, and during this time, if the grant team has any questions about the information you submitted, if there's a document that's incorrect or missing, or maybe it's blurry or something's just not clear, they need to ask about some of the information that you entered, we'll reach out by phone or email to get that information from you. And then the award notifications will go out through DocuSign. I do want to mention that for the grant, our process has a few steps. So first, we'll send you the DocuSign agreement that says, congratulations, you've been awarded. Please fill out this form. And then once you've filled out that form, we'll actually schedule just a 5-minute video call with you where we're going to verify all of your bank information again, just to be sure that we're depositing the funds into the right account. And we're going to ask you again at that point for a business bank statement and a voided check. We just want to be absolutely sure that all of the funds are getting to you to the right place. And then lastly, the grant disbursement. So once you've completed that DocuSign and you've done that video call, which again just takes 5 minutes, then within a few days of that, we will deposit the funds in your account. If for the virtual call, you can also go into the office for that if your video system isn't quite working. So not to worry there. The other thing to mention with the grants and with the loans, you will be asked, all recipients of the grant will be asked to do a follow-up survey next summer, so a year out or so from when you receive the funds, to see how your business is doing, to see how you use the money, what needs you may have at that point. We know the needs are always changing for businesses as the economy moves and changes. And so that is a required survey for recipients of the grant. This is the second info session that we've held. You can watch the video of the last session, which is very similar to this session, by clicking here. So if you can't remember something we said, you can always go back and watch the recording. Lastly, we have a few frequently asked questions. So are sole proprietors eligible? So many people may be, independent contractors, but as long as, or a sole proprietor, but as long as you have that registered assumed name certificate with Webb County, you are absolutely eligible, assuming you meet all of the other requirements. So if my gross revenue was more than 2 million in one of the years, but less than 2 million in the other years, would I be eligible? The answer to that is no. You have to be below 2 million in all 3 years. The program is really focused on the very smallest of the small businesses. Contractors in that employee count that's in the scoring, and contractors are not included. So we're looking at your W-2 employees only. If you're located outside the city, but you serve customers within the city, maybe you're, a contractor, or you do home inspections, and you're living, in the suburbs, but you travel all over the city to serve your customers, unfortunately, you would not be eligible. Your business has to physically be in the city. If you have 2 businesses, again, you'll need to pick just one business to submit the application for. If we always have people saying, can I have my bookkeeper or my accountant help me with the application? You can. However, we really want to caution you that this is a free application, both for the loan and the grant, and you shouldn't pay anyone to assist you. We have our full team here who is trained to answer all of the questions on the program. So we really want to be your resource to answer those questions. We have seen over the past few years a lot of scams out there where someone who's not at all qualified to assist will approach business owners and say, if you pay me $500, I guarantee that you'll get this grant. So if anyone is asking you to pay them to complete the application, please don't work with them. They're not someone that is trusted by the city or by Lift Fund. As a sole proprietor, it's true that you're not required by the county or the state to have an assumed name certificate, but you are certainly an operating business. So we can consider that if you complete that assumed name certificate, today before you submit the application. As long as we can see those financials from 2019 and 2020 and 2021 showing that you have been operating and reporting your business revenue, for the past few years. For the grant, it is a grant, so you do not have to pay the funds back. The loan, of course, is a loan, so that one you do pay back. If the address on your business documents, whether that's your tax return or your certificate of formation, are different than where you're located now, not to worry, we're going to go by the address that's on your most recent business utility bill to verify your address. So not a problem if you've, moved since you started your business. We know that that happens all the time. If you don't receive a business utility bill, because maybe all of your utilities are included with the rent that you pay the landlord, again, not a problem. We can take a copy of your lease agreement, or if you receive a monthly rental invoice, that's all perfectly fine. All we're really trying to see is, your name or the business name and the address to verify where the business is operating currently. And then again, if you need any help, please reach out to us for questions about the grants at 800-923-9551 or email us at sbgrants@liftfund.com. Or if you have questions about the loan, then you can call Gina at the number that she shared earlier. If you can't remember Gina's number, not to worry, you can reach out to the grant team and we'll get you connected with Gina as well. So I see we have a few more questions that have come in. What is the website to the grant? So this website is City of Laredo Small Business Grants, and I'll post that here in the chat for easy access. Yes, so if you had a DBA, but we know that those last for 10 years, and when it came up for renewal, you may not have renewed it, but you have been operating for all of this time, we can consider you. We will need you to have go to the county clerk's office to get that current, active DBA. But as long as we can see that document that is current now, and we have those financials from, the past few years showing that you have been operating for a long time, we can consider you. Yes, for the 0% loan, the question is, what is the payment term? Is it, monthly, weekly, yearly? So that will be paid monthly. The payments usually start 45 days after you receive the loan. The term, it can vary. It just depends on the size of the loan. But typically they will be, from 2 to 4 years, somewhere in that range. Okay, great questions. Thank you for asking all of these detailed information. And please continue to share your questions and we can answer them. If there's a question that you think of after we end the session, don't hesitate at all to reach out to us. Not to worry. We can, reach out to us at the number and email on the screen and we'll get those answered for you. So don't worry if 5 minutes after we finish the call that you think of something. Yes, the qualification for the loan, there's some details on the website, but I definitely recommend reaching out to Gina to, discuss your situation and get the full details on the eligibility. Oh, great question. So how long does the loan process take? So it can be very quick or take a few weeks. I would say anywhere from about 1 to 3 weeks is pretty normal. The more that you have all of your documents ready from the time you apply, the faster that process will be. Yes, if you currently have a loan with Lift Fund, You are certainly eligible for the grant. I believe you would be eligible for the loan, but I would definitely defer to Gina on that one. I don't want to give any incorrect information. Great questions. And I see one person with their hand raised in the system, RB. So I will, oh, it looks like that question was answered. And again, I just want to review the deadlines. I know I've said it many times. We just don't want anyone to miss out for the loan program. Those funds there's not a specific closing date. It's just as soon as the funds are used up, we will accept applications until we don't have those funds anymore. So the sooner the better. For the grant program, that deadline is next Friday, April 5th at 5 o'clock. And again, you can apply for both of the programs, at the same time and be considered for one or both. So you don't have to pick just one. We encourage you to apply for both. Okay. I don't see any more questions, but I want to thank you all for joining today and for your interest in the program. We wish you the best of luck as you work through the process. And please, please reach out to us. We want to help in any way that we can to help you access these wonderful programs that have been offered by the city. I'll stay on for a few more minutes, but I thank you all for your time and wishing you a happy Easter if you celebrate that this weekend. And have a great day. I see one more question coming in. Let's see. It appears to be a loan question. So for this question, please reach out to Gina Palma, and she can answer all the details on that. I'm sorry, I don't want to give any misinformation to you, but Gina is the expert on the loan program. Yes, the website for the grant is City of Laredo Small Business Grants, and I'll place that in the chat here. The deadline to apply for the loan, there's no specific deadline. It's just as we'll have the program open as long as there's funding available for it. So the sooner you apply, the better, but there's not a hard deadline the way that there is for the grant. And again, the website for the loan is liftfund.com/Laredo-0-loan. And let me put that in the chat as well. The website for that grant is City of Laredo smallbusinessgrants.com. Okay. I don't see any more questions, so we'll go ahead and end the call. But if you have any questions, again, please reach out to us at 800-923-9551 or sbgrants@liftfund.com. Thank you all very much and have a great weekend.